Coinbase. Coinbase has turned into a behemoth that hates Bitcoin and tries to destroy its privacy and its fungibility. Last year, we have seen them acquire Neutrino, a company that's associated with hacking team and used to work with authoritarian regimes to help them track freedom fighters and human rights activists and all sorts of people whose intentions were actually good and in line with the idea of human rights. But hacking team, which is now a part of Neutrino, even though Coinbase will try to deny it, has been integrated into this company, into this behemoth that was created. And right now, a year later from that purchase, Coinbase is trying to sell blockchain analysis data to the IRS and to the DEA. And this has been very big news in the last couple of days. And if you look at Twitter, you're going to see that a lot of people tell you to delete Coinbase. So if anything, Coinbase is the real Kraken, no pun intended, due to its many features and services. They've bought lots of other Bitcoin related businesses and only integrate them into their ecosystem and strengthen their position on the market. So if you see that something is acquired by Coinbase, then it's going to become an internal rotary part of the mechanism. So it's not going to provide its service to the public anymore. And you can see that they bought some blockchain explorers and all sorts of custodial services that they integrated. You know, Coinbase is also a company that files patents, which are very much against the idea of Bitcoin. But moving on, how hard is it to really delete Coinbase in a way that actually impacts their position on the market? And the answer is not very simple, because if you look at Coinbase today, you will realize that it has become much more than an exchange for cryptocurrencies. I guess the competition that tries to get the audience that Coinbase has is only competing with them in this segment of delivering an exchange. But Coinbase is also a custodian for institutions, an investor in blockchain, projects. It's interesting that none of these projects are actually related to Bitcoin, and they fund all sorts of Ethereum stuff, but nothing in regards to Bitcoin development. And they are also a debit card issuer, an OTC trading desk for institutions, a reliable payments processor, and now even a blockchain analysis service. There is a lot that Coinbase does, and it's pretty much a giant that's very hard to replace, specifically because they have all of these services that are very hard to perform. And to its credit, Coinbase has never lost funds. And if you're a business owner or a fund manager who's looking for a custodian, you will probably look for someone who is accountable and can also provide you services that are insured by the FDIC. So it's difficult to get rid of Coinbase. And if there were ever any funds that were lost on Coinbase, it was because users had lost their personal account login data or got phished, but it was never the coins that are held into hot or cold storage by Coinbase themselves that were stolen. They did get hacked, so part of their servers were hacked in the years that have passed since 2012, but they never lost any coins. So we should give them credit for that, even though they are enemies of Bitcoin. They do all sorts of bad stuff, and they're going to track you, and they're going to associate every transaction that you do with your name. And that also affects the person with whom you are transacting, because you are de-anonymizing anyone with whom you are trading by using the Coinbase wallet. And that's something that you should keep in mind whenever you use the Coinbase wallet, or any exchange wallet for that matter, because all of them nowadays seem to be associated with some sort of blockchain analysis company. And even though the data seems to be positive in regards to Coinbase, it doesn't mean that they're hack-proof. It doesn't mean that the Mt. Gox or Binance situation where lots of Bitcoins get lost cannot just happen to Coinbase just because they have a clean slate up until this point. It doesn't mean that they have all the reserves because they never published a proof of reserves, and the only exchange that has ever done it was Kraken, and even that was like 5 years ago or something. So we don't know if Coinbase has all of the coins or they engage in fractional reserve. But to large investors and institutions, they are the go-to exchange. It's basically inescapable. If you hear about an institution, it's very likely that they're going to be using Coinbase. And that's where the problem lies. They trust Coinbase because it has a good record and it's regulated. So there's a regulatory framework that Coinbase has applied without asking questions, and they have embraced all of this idea of being the legal exchange that accepts all norms and everything that's imposed on them, just for the sake of getting as much market share from large investors and institutions as possible. So that's the problem, really. You can delete Coinbase as a user, but you're going to have lots of institutions that still keep their funds with them. Coinbase started out in 2012 as a Bitcoin-only business, but added Ethereum in 2016 and started making anti-Bitcoin pro-blockchain industry decisions. And it would be foolish to believe that Coinbase was ever on the side of Bitcoin, because they obtained BitLicense to operate in the New York state when, lots of businesses around the time just decided not to do business in New York because it's too draconian and the stuff that Losky has designed is just too much and not in line with the philosophy of Bitcoin. Instead of sticking to the values of Bitcoin and trying to bring innovation and, believe that we can separate the money from the state, or at least make the system much more accountable, they are thinking of Bitcoin as some sort of panopticon financial system that they can surveil and of which they can hold in custody lots of coins and that they can process and that they can surveil. So it's just terrible. If you think about it, they are some of the worst actors that you can find in the whole space. They submitted to politicians and to big money. Coinbase is not about the Bitcoin values. It's not about individuals. It's about government agencies and surveillance and trying to control large amounts as a custodian. And also, Coinbase has supported every single attempt to undermine Bitcoin's decentralization. They possibly thought about it as a way of gaining more influence on the development of the network. In 2015, CEO Brian Armstrong has praised Gavin Andreessen's BIP 101, which proposed a constant block size increase. Every few years, the block size would double according to that proposal. And Brian Armstrong has called it the best proposal we have seen so far. And as the Bitcoin scaling debate went on, Coinbase has showed support for Bitcoin Classic, Bitcoin Unlimited, and Segwit 2x, and they have supported to the extent that they were some of the last ones to renounce the idea of supporting them. They wanted so much to just embrace and get this block size increase that they stuck to the idea until the very end. Whenever someone wanted to centralize Bitcoin, Coinbase was there to show support by endorsing the initiative, offering to run a node, or willing to list the forked coin. And when Coinbase has listed Bitcoin Cash on the 19th of December 2017, the price of this altcoin has pumped to its all-time high of 4K or something. And from that point on, it was just one day when the price was so high and the price started dumping. And if you look at the charts, you're going to see that the price from the 1st of August 2017, when the coin was launched, is similar to the price of today. It's like BCH is some sort of stable coin, except that it doesn't take into account the inflation rate, so it's some of the worst stores of value that you find in this space. And after that incident, there were suspicions of insider trading, and Coinbase has stated that they would do some sort of internal investigation, which never happened. I mean, they did start the investigation, but we never found out any results. Nobody was ever punished. They most likely made millions and millions of dollars or thousands of bitcoins out of trading BCH. But we don't know what happened, and most likely we will never know, because we're the plebs and they want to be the overlords, and not just the overlords, but our overlords. So that's one valid reason in itself to delete Coinbase.
Delete! Delete! Delete!
Coinbase. Is it really as simple as deleting your Coinbase account and using any alternative that possibly is more in line with the philosophy of Bitcoin? Well, yes and no. Because if you are a regular trader, then you'll find better alternatives with lower fees. If you're holding your $200 worth of BTC on Coinbase, you should probably start embracing financial sovereignty and withdraw your coins to your own wallet, and this allows you to manage your own keys. That's the most important step that you take in this journey. But if you're an institution that wants to have funds insured and needs a good track record before making a decision, then you'll probably go to Coinbase. I don't think multi-sigs and other setups are trusty enough at this point to make institutions believe that they can use them for storing funds long term. And it's likely that they will go to something that's insured and something that makes them believe, gives them enough trust to store their coins there. And Coinbase has been around and has been delivering this service for such a long time, and they never lost any coins, so they are going to be a top choice. If we want to compete with Coinbase and we want to bring real alternatives, we need to compete with all of their services. And that's a very important point that I'm trying to make in this presentation. Also, Coinbase is an OTC dealer, so if institutions want to buy Bitcoins OTC, it's very likely that they will go to Coinbase because they hold lots of coins, and also they provide all of the institutional requirements to make the purchase legit. If you're a merchant that wants to accept Bitcoin, going to Coinbase and using their service is possibly the best combination or balance between compliance and a quick and easy setup. If you're a Keynesian and you want to spend your coins, then you're going to find a lot of convenience in the Coinbase debit card. We will not be able to really delete Coinbase unless we replace its convenient and user-friendly services. Lots of people don't use Coinbase because they like it, but because it works and is friendly with businesses and institutions. And for every Twitter user who deletes his Coinbase account, there's going to be another institution which uses Coinbase's OTC trading and custody. So really, we need exchanges to get better and provide all of these services while also respecting the values of Bitcoin. It's hard to play catch up with such a behemoth of a company that has both influence and money, but someone needs to step up and provide better alternatives. Coinbase might have been around since 2012, but the Bitcoin space is still young and there is still room for ethical innovation in the space. Ideally, everyone should delete Coinbase and watch this ship sink. However, we need better exchanges and services first. So not everyone is going to act in good faith according to the Bitcoin values, and there's a great majority of people who only care about making more fiat money. If we also service these people in a way that supports the values of Bitcoin, then we can finally put an end to the tyranny of Coinbase. If you like this video, then please subscribe to my channel and also follow BTCTKVR on Twitter for the Bitcoin Takeover page, as well as my personal account, which is at THEVLADCOSTEA. And if you want to help me support my work, then you may make a donation to the Bitcoin address in the description, or alternatively buy a new Trezor hardware wallet or a Bill Fodl metal plate or one of their nice Faraday bags by clicking the referral links in the description. It's not much, you pay the same price for the devices, but you also help me pay the bills. So if you're into that, then check out the links below. As always, thank you for watching.